Hi guys, welcome back to The Vanity. It's Jennifer. So today what we're going to do is a video about all the eyeshadow palettes that I bought in 2018, and some of them are new for that year and some of them are just new to me, so I thought it would be fun. I saw another YouTuber do this video. I will link her down below. I don't know whether or not she's the one that started it, but she's the one that I saw and I thought, what a great video, so I decided to do it. And again, I'll leave the name and link it for you guys if you're interested in checking it out. But let's go ahead and get into all the eyeshadow palettes that I purchased over the last year and let you guys know my thoughts on them. Okay, so I have to be 100% honest. Some of these I have not gotten to play around with all that much. When you end up purchasing quite a bit of makeup, you know how it is. You use a palette once or twice and then you move on to the next thing. So I don't have a ton of opinions about this next one. This is the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. The cover looks like this. It's very pretty. It's a nice bright palette, and I purchased this because I had an idea in mind of doing like Battle of the Brights, Best Affordable Brights palette, but I just am not sure how to work that concept yet. And unfortunately for me, because I generally film before I get ready for work, this is just not office appropriate all the time. But so far, what I've used of the palette, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. I love that the pan sizes aren't very big, and you get a wide selection. But this I did purchase over the last year. Along with that, I purchased this one from NYX. It's the Ultimate Shadow Palette, and it's just in their brights. Let's pull it open. And it looks like this. Again, you get quite a bit of shadow in here. You get lots of different colors, and some of them have a little bit of a shimmer to them, but none are really metallic. But I find a lot of times with bright shadows, it's nice to have just a little bit of shimmer, like a little bit of a satin finish, because it makes them more pigmented and they don't just look so, not translucent, but yeah, a little bit watered down if they don't have a little bit of a satin finish, especially for the ones that I've tried. So this is a nice little palette. Again, I haven't used it all that much, but I have used it a little bit, and so far I've enjoyed it. The next little drugstore eyeshadow palette, if you will, is just a quad, but it's really the only one, smaller one, that I picked up. It's from Wet n Wild. It's from their Flights of Fancy collection that they just came out with. Well, I guess not just, but they came out with recently. This one's in Flock Party. It's just a little quad. I did use it in my recent Wet n Wild makeup look or one brand tutorial, so if you're interested in that, I will link it. But it's just here. So far, I've only used it the one time. The cranberry takes a little bit of building up. But this peach transition shade is really nice for me. It is a little bit powdery, and the other two shimmers are all right. So it is, you know, for the price, it's a nice little affordable quad. So next up is the Emily Edit The Needs palette. Sorry, it's going to be hard to see. This isn't all eyeshadow, but I figured I'd throw it in here because it does have eyeshadows, and I purchased it over the last year. This one out of the two is not my favorite. As far as the eyeshadow goes, they're fine. They work fine. You can get a nice everyday look. It's definitely the needs. It's not all the wants. The bronzer, as I've said, it's a little bit too intense for me. It takes just a little bit, like, working with for it to look good on me. It can just get a little bit too intense on me, so that's not my favorite. The highlight's pretty good, and this I can use as a powder on my face if I want to, and the eyeshadows are okay. It's nothing for me to write home about. I think if I could go back, I likely would only pick up the Wants palette, and I would skip out on this one, but so far I've kept it in my collection. Next up is the Wants palette by Emily Noel and Makeup Revolution as well. This one's a nice, big, affordable palette. You get a lot of colors in it. I haven't gotten to play around with it too much, just a couple of times, but I think that Makeup Revolution and Emily did a good job just curating this palette. I feel like it's got a lot of colors in here that you don't see in most affordable palettes. Yeah, and I think that as I use it, I am going to enjoy it. So far, everything that I've tried out of this, I've really, really liked. So I'm happy that it's in my collection, and I'm going to keep on using it. So next up is the Jaclyn Hill Vault. I really was just drawn to the Armed and Gorgeous little palette. out of this collection, but I thought if I'm just gonna get one, why not get them all, which is stupid. But that was my reasoning behind purchasing the whole collection. I, again, have not gotten to play around with this too much. I do like the size of these guys. And if it matters to you, I guess mine is the V2. I don't know whether or not that mattered or if it actually stands for version 2, but that is the one that I've had. And this is the palette that stood out to me the most. I really just was attracted to a lot of these shades. Yeah, is this one the Armed and Gorgeous? Yeah. I really like these greeny golds. Those really stand out to me, and like this gold. But again, I haven't dipped into a lot of these too much. So some of the really dark shades, I do find that they're a little bit difficult to blend. They don't really read the color that they read in the pan on your eyes, especially in the mattes. So unfortunately, if that is something that is really attracting you to this palette, I would say just kind of pass on them. The shimmers are fine. I mean, they're fine. You can work with them, but they're not the best shadows that I've ever used, and they're not my most favorite. And that one was the Dark Magic palette. This next one is the Bling Boss. Out of all of them, this would probably be the next one that stands out the most to me. I really enjoy purples, and a lot of these perform pretty well on the eye, and you know, they're pretty wearable shades. As far as having like a really neutral transition, these little palettes don't offer any of that. I have kind of debated about depotting them and putting them in like a magnetic palette, but I don't know, because I do like how small these are, and the packaging is so pretty, and you really just ruin the packaging, especially these cardboard ones. A lot of times you're just peeling them apart. So the next one is the Ring the Alarm. This is the one that just kind of didn't stand out all that much to me. I'm usually not a really warmed toned eyeshadow person, like super warm. I know my look's a little warm today, but I don't know. I lean more towards cool shadows most of the time. Those are the ones that draw me in. These I feel like can just be a little bit harsh on me for whatever reason, but they're okay. They're okay. Do I feel like I would have been missing out on anything if I would have passed on them? No, but I am happy that I have the Armed and Gorgeous one. I don't know, that one just stands out to me the most. I think because it's kind of like fall colors, and I really enjoy fall makeup, like the burgundies mixed in with the greens and a little bit of those olivey golds. I really love those types of colors, so I think that's why this one stands out to me. But I have the regular Jaclyn Hill palette, so I guess that's kind of also why I picked these ones up. I did purchase this off the Morphe website and used somebody's discount code on it, so I didn't pay full price, but pretty much paid full price. Also, for whatever reason, I have so much trouble getting in this little box dilly that they came in. I mean, it's kind of cute, you know, kind of looks like a little book set or something, but I suppose if you haven't already picked them up, just pick the one out that stands out the most to you and then get it. Unless you're a makeup junkie like me and you feel like you need them all, then go for it. But I feel like I would have been okay if I would have just passed on those. Then I did pick up, this is actually the only naked palette that I have. I picked this up this year when it went on sale, and I'm pretty happy that I have it. I haven't gotten to play around with it all that much, but I feel like it's just a nice basic palette. It's kind of a cult classic, and I thought before it's gone, I might as well see what this is all about. To be honest, I mean, I can see why everyone really loves it. It's just a nice everyday palette. You're not going to have to think about it too much. Nothing's too warm or too cool, so I feel like you can get a lot of really nice everyday looks. You can do a little bit smoky, a little bit bronzy, so I think it's just a really nice palette, and it was popular for a reason. The other Urban Decay palette that I picked up and I used my Ulta points for is the Born to Run palette. This was the first Urban Decay palette that I've ever purchased, and that's what led me to pick up the Naked palette. But I'm really happy that I did. I have played this I have played with this one a little bit, and I just feel like this gives you a nice mix of everything. You get burgundies, you get coppers, you get oranges, you get browns, you get smoky colors, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, but they're wearable, they're not super bright, and yeah, I just really love this. If you guys haven't picked it up or you don't have a palette like this, I would absolutely recommend it. It's just so versatile, and that's why I love it so much. So I'm really happy that I picked this one up. Next up on the list is this Too Faced Totally Cute. I do believe that this was maybe, I don't know if they still sell it or a limited edition. It came just blank, and then it came with stickers, and my daughter put the stickers all over it. This I picked up at TJ Maxx, so it was a deal. But again, the green kind of suckered me in. I'm really into green eyeshadows. Even though I don't wear them all the time, I really, really love them. And like this really pretty, deep, smoky blue. It's just got some nice colors in here. Like this, I could see being a nice little travel palette, because you could do just like a nice everyday look and then have some nighttime looks, and it's nice and compact. And I don't think you have to worry about the eyeshadows breaking. So that's the Totally Cute palette from Too Faced. Next up, I have the Flesh eyeshadow palette. I believe they have another one that they just came out with or are coming out with. This I picked up with my Ulta points, and I used it in my Flesh review of all their stuff when they came out. To be honest, I really haven't used it too much since I purchased it. In the look that I did in the video, I used this eyeshadow. They are a little bit hard pressed, and yeah, they're just a little bit hard pressed. So a little bit drier formula, a little bit more hard pressed. The metallics don't feel super buttery. They're more of a wearable metallic, if you will. But otherwise, the colors in here aren't bad. I feel like it's a nice little palette. I'll continue to use it, but it doesn't have me wanting more so far from their eyeshadows. But I do enjoy a lot of the other things that I purchased from them. Like today, I have one of their blushes on, and I have one of their cream highlighters on. And I think that's all that I have on from them today, but it's a nice little palette. I can't remember how much it was though, but I feel like for what you get and for the quality, it's a little bit expensive. And again, I'm not like, oh, I've got to have more of those palettes. The next two things that I picked up are from Bare Minerals. This little guy came in a set. It's their Bare Neutrals set. I thought that this would be nice to travel with. You get everything you need in here just to create like little everyday looks, and I've played with it quite a bit. I also freelanced for Bare Minerals for a while, so I use this a lot of times on clients. I really love like this bronzy, taupey, metallic shade here, and then you do get some mattes and some deeper colors, so you can go a bit smoky. I just feel like it's a nice little palette. Full price, I don't think it's worth the money. I believe that these were like $35 or $40 for these little palettes, and I got mine on a deal, like it was included with a kit. But I believe these are on sale now, so if you see them, and I've seen them at TJ Maxx, if you see them, I would pick one up, especially if you need like a nice little travel palette. I'm happy that I have this in my collection. It does come with a little brush, and to be honest, it's not really all that bad. So in a pinch, you can definitely do your entire eye look with that little brush. Next up then, I have the Bare Naturals palette. I also have the Bare Essentials, but I didn't pick it up last year. It's this palette right here. I just really like kind of collecting the Bare Minerals eyeshadows, but at these two bigger ones that I picked up, that's kind of where I'm stopping. I feel like as far as eyeshadows go, I just need to start using up some of my stuff before I start bringing in more. But this one just has a nice mix of like cool tone shadows, which I really, really am drawn to. So yeah, again, I haven't gotten to play around with it so much. I have been focusing on like my single pan eyeshadows over the last year, so the palettes that I did pick up, I really didn't get to dive into all that much. But so far, I've loved the looks that I've done with this palette. The last palette that I just picked up at the end of 2018 was the Desi and Katie Francation palette, and I'm so happy that I did. I waited for it to go on sale, but the shadows in here, besides the mattes, the metallics are something that I don't have in any of my other eyeshadow palettes. Some of the glitter does kind of tend to fall on your face a little bit, so I definitely recommend using a sticky base if you have problems with that. I do have this on my eyes today. As you can see, it's nice and sparkly. I just put this in the crease, a little bit of this in the crease, this, and then this in the outer corner, and then this is the shimmer that I put all over the eyelid. But I really, the Dirty Money shade is what stuck out to me. I have a try a new makeup video. If that's up before this one, I will link it, but vice versa, keep an eye out for that, where I am using this palette, so if you're interested in checking that out. I really actually like the mattes in here. I feel like they blend really, really well. I was kind of surprised that they didn't feel as buttery as I thought that they were going to. They felt kind of a little bit more hard pressed, but they go on really well on the eye, and I don't feel like they're over powdery or anything like that, so I feel like they blended out really great. Unfortunately, I do feel like there's a little bit of like defects in the pans and on the palette itself, so I'm happy that I didn't pay full price for it, but I would recommend picking this up. So that's it, guys. Those are all the eyeshadow palettes that I picked up over the last year in 2018. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I will link the girl who I saw do this video in the description bar, so definitely check that out if you're interested in another video like this. And if you like the video, please just give it a thumbs up. I hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you so, so much for taking time out of your day and watching one of my videos. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!